What's going on, guys? Kevin here from thesportsgeek.com, and in this video, I'm going to go over my NFL Week 2 betting picks. So in a second here, I'm going to give you guys a Week 1 recap of my picks from last week's video. But before we get to that, I just want to mention that I'm not always going to go 3-0, so don't expect that from here on out. But I'm hoping we can do that a bunch more times this year. So I'll get into a Week 1 recap of my picks, and then we'll get into the Week 2 NFL picks. All right, so before I move on to my NFL Week 2 picks, let's take a look back at how my NFL Week 1 picks did. We'll do this each week. We'll do a little recap of my video picks and my SuperContest picks. So on the left-hand side there, you see my video picks. We had the Broncos +3 to kick off the NFL season on Thursday night. They came from behind an exciting game against the Panthers, and they won by a point, covering the 3-point spread. So that was a good start to the season, 1-0 heading into Sunday. And then Sunday, we had two more picks from the video. We had Raiders +1.5. They ended up scoring a late touchdown, really exciting back and forth, high-scoring game. They scored the late touchdown, went for 2 to win by 1. So we covered the spread there. And then we had the Jags +5.5. They had a good back and forth game going with the Packers. They were down, I think it was 7 late in the game, and they ended up losing by 4 points. They kicked a field goal to cover the spread. So that was good. 3-0 week with the video picks. And then my other SuperContest picks that weren't included in the video were the Ravens -3. They won by 6 against the Bills. And then the Patriots +6.5, who won by 2 in Arizona. And I just want to mention that these SuperContest picks, if you do a Thursday pick, you have to submit your picks Wednesday night or Thursday morning. And for that reason, I took the Patriots +6.5, not knowing that Gronk would be out. I probably wouldn't have made that pick if I knew Gronk would be out. The line moved up to 9.5, but I was locked in. There's no way you can change it. So I had Patriots +6.5. They ended up covering and winning, which was pretty crazy. So 5-0 start to the SuperContest. Only 4.2% of entries went 5-0. So I got a good start to the season. Hopefully we can keep it up here in NFL Week 2. I also wanted to mention that if you guys are checking the standings, my entry is under thesportsgeek.com. I've got a buddy who entered under thesportsgeek.com too. And what we're doing is we're going to combine our entries basically. We're each doing our own picks, but if one of us wins a cash prize, we're going to split it. So hopefully at least one of us can win a big prize at the end of the year. All right, so moving on to my NFL Week 2 picks. Starting off, we're going with the Dolphins +6.5. They're at New England to face the Brady-less Patriots. I've got no word on Gronk yet, but I'm going to assume he's ready for Week 2. So I'm making this pick assuming Gronk is going to be playing. If he's not, obviously it's a bonus for us, but I expect he'll be back for Week 2. The Dolphins are coming off a loss in Seattle. It was a last-minute touchdown by the Seahawks. They went ahead 12-10, missed the extra point, but the Dolphins did cover. There was 10.5-point underdogs. So some good things and some bad things to take away from the Dolphins. Obviously, they wanted to close that game out, but they did keep it tight with a good Seahawks team on the road. And then the Patriots, they beat the Cardinals by 2, as I talked about. They were 9.5-point underdogs, so they obviously started their season off how they wanted to. But I still think the Dolphins are getting too many points here at 6.5 points. The Dolphins' defense looked pretty good in Week 1, and I expect their offense to play better in a slightly better matchup. So Seattle's obviously one of the best defenses in the league. The Patriots have a good defense, but Dolphins should be able to move the ball a little more. And here's a cool little trend I found. Road dogs in games with lower totals, so those that are 45 or less, who are coming off a road loss, cover the spread 60% of the time since 2004. So I really like that stat. I get all of these trends from Sports Insight. I'll leave a link to them below. You can sign up for an account with them. I'll leave that in the YouTube description. My second NFL Week 2 pick is going to be the Browns +6.5. They're at home versus the Ravens, who are coming off a 6-point home win versus Buffalo. They were 3-point favorites in that game. They covered the spread and won by 6 points. The Browns lost 29-10 at Philly in Week 1. They didn't look too great, and they lost their quarterback, RG3. And now Josh McCown will start, and in my opinion, that's an upgrade. McCown had a 93.3 QB rating in 7.5 games played last year. I think that's an upgrade to RG3. I think the Browns will do more on offense this week. And last week, the Ravens did look solid defensively, but they scored just 13 points despite holding the Bills to 160 total yards of offense. So they had the ball quite a bit. They could have blown that game wide open with how many times they forced the Bills into 3-and-outs and just got the ball back really quick. And they didn't do much with the ball. So even though the Browns don't have a good defense, the Ravens weren't really good on offense. I think that the Browns can keep this game tight. I don't like them to win the game. If I was going to pick them, I would probably pick the Ravens by 3. Another trend here, Week 2 home dogs who lost in Week 1 and are playing a team who didn't make the playoffs the previous year is hitting at 81%. So the big trend there that we can look at, and just too many points for the Browns at home, I think, in week 2 with McCown. If RG3 was at quarterback, maybe I would shy away from this, but I think they got an upgrade there. I think their offense should do a little more here in week 2. And my last NFL Week 2 pick is going to be the Bucks plus 6.5. So another underdog at 6.5 points. I didn't plan it like that. There's no particular reason, just how it happened to work out. All of these underdogs being 6.5 points. So the Bucks are at Arizona, who lost in prime time as 9.5 favorites in Week 1 against New England, as we talked about. So that's pretty embarrassing. Their last 2 losses, they've actually been embarrassed in prime time going back to the playoffs last year. And the Bucks beat the Falcons 31-24 on the road as 2.5-point underdogs last week, putting up 371 yards of offense. And Winston graded very well in that game. So I think the Bucks will have a pretty good offense this year. They got a good running back. They've got some good receivers. Winston looks to be improving each and every week. So I really like the Bucks offense. And defensively, they looked good in week 1 as well, holding the Falcons to just 2.4 yards per rush on 22 attempts. So they did kind of give up some more yards towards the end of the game, but they still won by 7 on the road as underdogs. Pretty big game. And here in week 2, they do face a tougher opponent all around, but I think they're going to make a game of it. I think they're going to keep this one tight. And another cool trend that I found was betting on underdogs in weeks 1 to 3, who won just 4 to 6 games the previous year, is hitting 63.7% since 2006. So Bucks plus 6.5 is my last pick of the week. If you guys enjoy these NFL betting pick videos, make sure you click that thumbs up button. It'll help support my YouTube channel and let me know that you guys want me to keep making these each and every week. Good luck this week. Hope you guys make some money. Cheers.